In the far edge of the galaxy, where stars were cold and space was quiet, a small alien science ship floated. Its name was Varnuk's Eye. It belonged to the Zarkelians, a race of thinkers and explorers. They searched the stars for lost worlds, ancient signals, and hidden truths. Captain Teller stood at the front window of the ship, staring at the black void. He had 4 thin arms and large eyes made for deep space scanning. For 20 cycles, his crew had found nothing but dust and empty. Rock's dot until today. "Captain," said Ral 3, the signal technician, his voice shaking. I found something. A signal, not natural." Teller turned slowly. "Show me." On the main screen, a red wave pulsed. It was slow, deep, and full of strange energy. Not like anything they had seen before. "It's repeating," Ral 3 whispered. "Every 22 seconds. Where is it coming from?" Teller asked. Ral 3 pressed a few buttons. A star chart appeared. One of the dead zones. A place with no planets, no light. Just silence. "This region has no records," Teller said. "We sent drones there years ago. They found nothing." "This signal wasn't there before," Ral 3 replied. "It started just 12 minutes ago." Teller gave the order. "Take us there. Full speed." 4 hours later, the ship dropped out of warp. The crew stared in silence. Ahead of them was a giant object floating near a dead star. It was not a planet, not a moon. It was a ship, but not like any they had ever seen. It was long and black, shaped like a blade, nearly 50 kilometers in length. Its surface was smooth metal, dark as night, with strange symbols marked in long lines. "This is not Zarkelian," Teller said. "Nor Krell, nor Dorganite. No species we know builds like this." Ral 3 zoomed in. "Captain, look here." Large emblem was painted on the side. A circle with a blue world in the center, and white letters under ITUHS Titan United Humanity Ship. "Humanity," Teller whispered. "They are a myth. Stories from the First Age." Ral 3's voice dropped. "I thought they died out." "So did I," Teller said. "The first scan the science team tried to scan the ship. But as soon as the beam touched it, the Varnuk's Eye shut down for 3 seconds. Lights went black. Air stopped. Then everything came back online. What happened?" Teller shouted. "Energy feedback," said the engineer. "The ship reflected the scan, but not normally. It sent something back. Something inside our systems." Teller looked. At the screen, the signal was still there, stronger now. It was no longer just a pattern. It had changed. Now it sounded like words. The audio signal. They ran the signal through their translator. The screen flickered. A voice spoke. It was deep, slow, and cold. "This is UHS Titan. This vessel is under quarantine. Do not approach. This is your only warning." The crew went silent. "It knows we're here," said the pilot. Ral 3 looked pale. "Captain, we should leave. Now." "No," Teller said. "We are explorers. This could be the greatest discovery in 1,000 years." He stared at the giant ship. "What happened to the humans? Why is the ship here?" He made a decision. Send a probe. The vanishing probe. The probe left the launch bay. It moved slowly toward the human ship. Everyone watched the screen. The moment it reached the outer edge of the Titan, it vanished. No explosion, no flash, no signal, just gone. "Retrieve the last second of data," Teller ordered. The screen showed static. Then a frame appeared. A black hallway inside the ship, lit by red lights. Empty. Silent. Then a shadow moved across the camera. Tall, humanoid. And the video cut off. Was that a human? Someone whispered. Teller's face grew tight. "Prepare a boarding team." The boarding team, 3 Zarkelians, suited up and moved into the small scout craft. Teller watched them from the window. "You will only observe," he said through the radio. "Do not touch anything. Stay together. If anything feels wrong, come back. They nodded. The scout ship moved forward. As it reached the surface of the Titan, a small hatch opened by itself. It's inviting us in, said Rel 3. Teller didn't reply. The scout ship entered the hangar. Then the door closed. Silence. Inside the Titan, the boarding team turned on their suit cameras. What they saw was strange. The hangar was massive, empty, clean, not a single sign of damage or age. Walls made of black steel. Markings in English and strange blue lights along the floor. Gravity is stable, one of them said. Artificial systems still active. They stepped out. As they walked deeper into the ship, their voices became softer. Feels like something is watching us. Then the lights flickered. The hallway ahead lit up on its own. The team followed. Discovery in the hall. They reached a door. It opened without command. Inside was a room full of machines, screens, terminals, chairs, a bridge. And in the center, frozen in a standing pod, was a human. He was tall, muscular, in a black armor suit. His eyes were closed, but his hands were tight, as if ready to fight. Life signs active, one crew member said. He's alive. They stared in fear. Suddenly, a loud clang echoed behind them. The door shut, cut off. Back on the Varnock's eye, the main screen went black. No signal, Rel 3 said. The scout ship is gone. Cameras offline. No communication. Try again. Teller said. Nothing. What about our ship systems? Rel 3 checked. Some of our engines just shut down. Then the signal returned. Not from the scout team, from the Titan. The same voice. You were warned. Now you will learn. The final warning. Suddenly, the Titan's engines began to glow. It wasn't drifting anymore. It was waking up. Captain, shouted the engineer. It's powering up. We need to run. Teller watched the ship rise slightly, as if it had just taken a breath. Then another signal came. You are not enemies, but you are not friends either. This ship is a relic of war, and war never forgets. The lights inside the Titan turned blood red. And for the first time in centuries, it moved. The Zarkelian science ship Varnock's Eye floated silently in the dark. The alien crew stared at the massive black warship ahead. UHS Titana, lost human giant from a forgotten age. 3 crew members had entered the Titan's hangar. Now they were gone. No signal, no camera feed, no sound, and the Titan had started to move. The fear of the unknown. Captain Teller stood on the command deck. His eyes watched the Titan as it slowly rotated in space, turning its sharp front toward the Varnock's Eye. We have to leave, the pilot said. We don't know what that thing can do. Teller raised one hand. Not yet. 3 of our crew are still on board. We do not leave them behind. But what if it attacks us? The pilot asked. We don't even know if it's a weapon anymore. Teller said, it could be something else. The ship's engineer looked up. Sir, the Titan is charging power again, not weapons. It looks like systems inside, lights, maybe doors. Maybe it's waking up, Teller whispered. Inside. The Titan Zarn, one of the 3 explorers inside the Titan, blinked his 4 eyes. His helmet light was flickering. The hallway they had walked through had gone dark. He looked around. Lino? Doc. No answer. His radio was dead. He turned back toward the door they had come from. Gone. Not. Just closed. The hallway itself had changed. The path was no longer there. Instead, a wall stood where space should have been. I don't like this, Zarn said aloud. I want to leave. He tapped his emergency beacon. Nothing happened. Then, a light appeared above him, blue and soft. It moved forward, floating in the air like it wanted him to follow. Zarn hesitated, then stepped forward. The voice of the ship back on the Varnock's Eye. A strange message started playing through the ship's audio. It was the same deep voice from before. This is you, HS Titan. If you hear this, you have entered restricted space. This vessel is under emergency lockdown. Stand by for assessment. The voice paused. Then it said something new. One of your kind has passed the threshold. Observation initiated. What does that mean? RAL-3 S.TELAR stepped forward. It means the ship is watching. Watching us? The pilot asked. No, Teller said. Watching them. The room of Glashern followed the blue light through twisting halls. The ship was massive. Bigger than anything he had ever walked through. He passed strange windows, cold metal doors, and walls covered in unreadable human writing. Finally, the light stopped in front of a large, circular room. Zarn stepped inside. The walls were made of glass. Inside each section was a strange object: old weapons, blackened helmets, cracked screens showing war zones, a museum. But one part was different. In the center stood a chair, empty, facing a round console. When Zarn touched it, the ship spoke. Seat confirmed. Non-human detected. Initiating memory display. The human war log. Zarn's helmet screen filled with light. Images flashed quickly, too fast to understand. Then they slowed. He saw human soldiers, tall, strong, wearing black armor. They fought against creatures Zarn had never seen before: massive insect-like beasts, glowing machines, strange aliens with fire for eyes. Earth was burning. Space battles exploded between planets. Fleets crashed. Planets shattered. Then came silence. The last image was of the Titan itself, flying alone through space. The words appeared. Mission, final watch, last order, sleep until Earth calls. Quarantine active. Meanwhile, the other two, Lino and Doc, had been separated the moment the hallway split behind them. They each walked down strange paths, unsure what was real. Leno's path led him to a giant door. When he stepped closer, it opened slowly. Inside was a cryopod chamber, hundreds of frozen humans, sleeping in glass beds. He looked in awe. Are they alive? He asked himself. He touched one pod. The human inside had scars on his face and strange symbols on his chest. The suit said, CPT, Jonas Ridju, each S Titan, War Commander. Suddenly, the man's eyes opened. Back on Varnok's eye, alarms went off. Captain, shouted the engineer. Something's changing. The Titan is now scanning us. What kind of scan? Teller asked. Deep scan. It's searching our ship, our crew, our memories, our history. How is that possible? RAL-3 said that the ELAR didn't answer. Then a new voice came through the speaker. This one was colder, more direct. You do not belong here. You bring curiosity and danger. Where is Earth? What is her status? RAL-3 looked confused. It's asking us about Earth, but we don't know anything. Teller stepped forward and answered. Earth is gone. Or lost, we only know the name. Silence. Then, the voice replied, then I am alone. A sudden lockdown inside the Titan. Alarms turned red. Doors slammed shut. Lights flickered. Zarn fell to the ground as the gravity shifted. A deep sound echoed through the halls like a beast. Awakening. The ship wasn't just a ship. It was alive. And it was angry. Lino ran as the cryopod started flashing. The human inside his pod stood up, breathing slowly. Doc found himself in front of a screen showing star maps. All of them had red marks, places where signals had gone dark. Planets destroyed. The screen said, Silence protocol engaged. Reason, containment failure. Status, unknown. Return or die. Back on the Varnok's eye, the Titan's voice returned. You have touched sacred ground. Leave now or be erased. This is your final warning. The pilot looked at Teller. Sir, we must leave. Teller looked at the black warship. Not without my crew. A small message blinked on his screen. It was from Zarn's suit. Just one word. Help. The alien science ship Varnok's eye floated near the edge of fear. The massive human, Warship UHS Titan was no longer asleep. 3 Zarkelian crew members had entered it. Only one had sent a short message, help. Then nothing. The Titan had locked down. It had spoken warnings. It had asked for Earth, now. Silence again, but not the safe kind. The kind before something terrible. Zarn's. Struggler Zarn ran down a long hallway inside the Titan, his feet heavy in his suit. The blue guiding light that had once led him forward had vanished. The air around him felt thicker now. He turned a corner and froze. A shadow stood at the end of the hall. It was tall, human-shaped, wearing black armor, eyes glowing red under a helmet. It didn't move. Zarn lifted his scanner. The reading showed nothing. No heat, no sound. Just metal. Who are you? Zarn asked softly. The figure tilted its head, like it was studying him. Then it walked backward into the wall and vanished. The ghosts began to move at the same time. Lino stood inside the cryopod room. The human he saw, Captain Jonas Ridge, was awake. The man stepped out of the pod, steam rising from his armor. His eyes looked at Lino, calm but sharp. You're not one of mine, Ridge said. Lino didn't answer. The human walked to a control panel and typed something. Doors across the room opened. One by one, other cryopods lit up. Wait, Lino said. Please don't wake them all up. Ridge looked at him. Too late. The Titan has already started. All we did was explore, Lino tried to explain. You touched things not meant to be touched, Ridge said. This ship remembers. It always remembers. Doc's Discovery Doc wandered through a control room full of screens. He saw battle. Logs, damaged fleet maps, and messages from Earth centuries old. He didn't understand the language, but the images were clear. Earth had been attacked. Not by one enemy, but by many. Humans had fought and won, but the cost had been huge. One screen showed the launch of the Titan, a last ship, a final protector, sent into deep space on standby. Quarantine protocol, Titan class. Do not wake unless Earth is destroyed. Do not approach unless Earth calls. Doc's eyes went wide. We were never supposed to find this. A new threat. Inside, back on the Varnok's Eye, the crew watched as the Titan stopped moving. It floated again, but something had changed. The red lights had turned white. The ship wasn't preparing for war. It was remembering. RAL 3 pointed at the screen. Look, new signals are coming from inside. Many of them. Human? Teller asked. Not exactly, RAL 3 replied. I think they're machines. AI systems, but not full machines. Some are human minds, inside metal. Teller felt a chill. Ghosts of steel, he said. Half human, half machine, still alive after all this time. Sir, the pilot said, voice trembling, should we destroy the Titan before it wakes fully? Teller turned to him slowly. Double quotes, no. If this ship survives, there is a reason. We must learn the truth. The War Memoriezern stumbled into a wide room filled with glowing walls. Images floated in the air, holograms of war, explosions, screams. Ships crashing into moons, humans in black armor, fighting armies with strange weapons. A voice spoke above him, calm and deep. They came from the edge of the dark. The silence spread. We stopped it, but we became part of it. Zarn looked up. Who are you? I am Titan, the voice said. I was built by humanity, but I am more than human. I remember all that. Was lost. Zarn stepped forward. What is the silence? The answer came like a whisper in his mind. It is what remains. When everything else dies. Lino and the Captain Lino followed Captain Ridge through the Titan's main hallway. Other humans were waking now. Some were silent. Others whispered, but none showed fear, only purpose. You are not enemies, Ridge said. That is the only reason you are still breathing. Lino tried to stay calm. Then, why trap us here? Ridge stopped walking. Because we don't. Know what you are. We don't know if Earth still exists. And until we do, you're part of this ship now. I'm not human, Lino said. I'm not your enemy. Maybe, Ridge said. But this ship doesn't trust easy. It remembers betrayal. The reveal dock touched a screen that opened a large file, a final war log. A human general's voice spoke through static. To any who find this, Earth did not fall. We hid. The Titan is not a weapon, it is a memory. A last light in the dark. If it wakes, it must judge. And act. Let it remember. Let it protect. Let it warn. Doc slowly stepped back. The Titan is not just a ship, he said. It's a decision. Titan sends a message back on the Varnak's eye. Every screen turned black. Then, one by one, letters began to appear in Zarkelian, in human English. In dozens of alien scripts. Do not fear. Do not flee. Stay. You will witness. What remains? Then a star map appeared, dozens of red zones. All places where signals had gone dark across the galaxy. The voice returned. Something is coming. The same thing that took our worlds. The same thing that made the silence. Teller whispered, so the silence wasn't human? No, Ral 3 said. The humans were fighting it. Final scene, the doors opened back inside the Titan. All doors opened at once. Zarn, Lino, and Doc found each other near the central bridge. Captain Ridge stood nearby, his arms crossed. You've seen what you were not supposed to, Ridge said. Then why let us live? Lino asked. Because the silence is returning, Ridge said. And you might be the only ones left to carry the message. Zarn looked at the controls. What happens now? The Titan answered. Now. We wake and we hunt the silence, together. The UHS Titan, a lost human warship, was no longer quiet. That had started to move. Lights had returned. Systems had come alive. 3 alien explorers, Zarn, Lino, and Doc, were still trapped inside its walls. Captain Teller and his crew watched. From their own ship, Varnak's Eye, afraid but unable to leave. The Titan was awake, and it was not alone. First warning, Captain Teller stood on the command deck, his hands clenched tight. Energy spikes are rising inside the Titan, said Ral 3. Multiple levels are powering up. Weapons. Shields. Engines. Any signal from our team inside? Teller asked. Just their location tags, the technician replied. No audio. But they're all alive. Then, without warning, the screens on Varnak's Eye turned black. A single message appeared. Judgment protocol activated. Prepare for revelation. Then the Titan's engines glowed blue, and it began to turn. Not to run. To face something. The bridge awakens inside the Titan. Zarn, Lino, and Doc stood beside Captain Jonas Ridge, the awakened human officer from cryosleep. He moved with calm power, like a man who had done this before. They had reached the main bridge. It was a giant dome of black glass and glowing lights. The walls showed stars, warnings, data maps, all alive again. The ship felt awake. Zarn stepped forward slowly. What is happening? Ridge didn't turn. The Titan is scanning the stars, looking for threats. What kind of threats? Lino asked. The kind that silence entire galaxies, Ridge said. The kind that killed my brothers. The Titan speaks. The voice of the Titan echoed across the bridge. Calm, cold, ancient. You have entered a warship of Earth's final generation. Humanity does not forget. Humanity does not forgive. This vessel was designed to end wars. Now it seeks purpose again. Doc spoke, confused. You said the silence is returning. What is it? A force without name. A hunger without reason. It consumes thought, sound, and life. We faced it once. We failed to stop it. Zarn looked at Ridge. Then why wake now? Ridge turned slowly. Because you found us. That means it's coming again. Memories from the void. The Titan displayed old footage across the walls. War logs stored for centuries. Armies of glowing creatures marching across planets, ships vanishing in silence. Black storms tearing space apart. Lino watched in horror. "We've never seen anything like that. No one alive has," Ridge said. "After the last war, Earth sealed itself. The Titan was sent away to wait. To guard, to sleep," Zarn asked. "But why here? Why near a dead star?" "Because it's hidden," Ridge replied. "The silence can't feed on what it can't find." He looked at the aliens. "Until now." Back on Varnak's Iril 3. "Watch the Titan through the window. It's changing," he said. "Its armor is shifting, new shapes appearing across its hull." The Titan's black surface began to transform. Sections of armor opened like petals, revealing hidden weapons, massive. Railguns, energy turrets, missile bays. "It's preparing for war," the engineer whispered. Teller stared. "Against what?" Suddenly, a small data packet was sent from the Titan. RAL 3 opened it. A map appeared showing the region of space they were in and far beyond. A moving signal. Unknown. Dark. Getting closer label. Unknown entity. Trail. Matches the silence. The choice back inside the bridge. The Titan gave a message to its new guests. "This ship requires allies. You are not human, but you are not the enemy. Will you assist?" Doc looked nervous. "What happens if we say no?" "Then you may leave, but you will not survive what follows." Captain Ridge stepped forward. "You didn't just find us. You woke us. That makes you part of this now." Zarn, looking at his crewmates, said, "We didn't mean to cause this." Ridge shook his head. "You didn't cause it. You just lit the signal fire." The war machine moves. The Titan shifted again. Its engines released a deep, rumbling hum. It began to move forward, slowly, then faster. The stars around it blurred. The warship entered jump preparation. Captain Ridge looked at a terminal. Destination. Border Zone Theta 9, last known trace of the silence. Zarn blinked. "You're going straight to it?" Ridge nodded. "The only way to survive the storm is to face it first." Suddenly, the Titan paused. A human face appeared on the main screen. Female. Old, sharp eyes. Admiral Laney Monroe. The figure said, "Earth Command AI Integration Unit. My orders remain." She looked directly at the aliens. "You are witnesses. That makes you useful. But be warned, humanity does not repeat its mistakes." A message to Earth. The Titan sent a long-range burst signal toward deep space. A call.zrn asked, "To whom?" Ridge answered softly, "To Earth." "But Earth is gone," Doc said. "Maybe," Ridge replied. "Maybe not." The Titan still hopes. And if Earth answers, the galaxy will change. Final moments. Back on Varnak's Eye, RAL 3 received a message. It was direct. "One of your kind must stay aboard Titan, to represent your people. To be part of what comes next." Teller read the message. "A witness or a warning?" RAL 3 looked up. "Sir, if we say no?" Teller said nothing. Then he gave the order, "Prepare a return shuttle. And someone, choose who stays." Closing. Scene. The Titan moved into deep space. On board, its engines thundered. Lights glowed red along its halls. Weapons turned outward. In the bridge. Captain Ridge watched the stars with steel in his eyes. Beside him stood Zarn. "We may not be human," Zarn said, "but we don't run." Ridge smiled. "Good, then you'll fit right in." As the stars stretched and the ship vanished into faster-than-light travel, the screen showed one final word: awake. The Titan moved through deep space fast, focused, and silent. Inside the massive human warship, the Zarkelian explorer Zarn stood on the bridge beside Captain Jonas Ridge, watching stars stretch into long lines as the ship entered faster than light. Travel. Behind them, human crew members were slowly waking from their cryopods. Machines hummed. Weapons charged. Systems rebooted. The warship had one mission: find the silence. before it returns. But something else had started. A signal, not from outside, from Earth. The signal reaches the past on board the Titan. A terminal blinked. "Captain," said one of the newly awakened crew, "we just received a reply." Captain Ridge walked over slowly. "From who?" The screen showed an old Earth seal. Burned and faded. United Humanity Defense Command. Zarn stepped forward. "I thought Earth was silent." "It was," Ridge said, "for over 600 years. But this message is from Earth?" "No," Ridge replied. "It's from before Earth went silent, a backup message. One we were never meant to see unless the ship woke up." He pressed a button. The screen flashed. Then a voice began to speak. The message from Earth. The voice was female, strong but tired. It echoed across the bridge. "This is Admiral Laney Monroe, Earth Defense Command. Year 2674. If you are hearing this, the Titan has awakened. That means the war is not over. Or worse, it is beginning again." Images played in the background. Massive fleets burning in the void. Creatures made of dark matter. Swarms of ships with no pilots. "We thought the silence was just a myth, a story told to scare children. But it was real. It feeds on energy, sound, thought. It turns stars cold. When it reached our borders, it erased colonies without a sound." Zarn watched, his throat dry. "Earth made a choice. We hid. We sent one ship to the edge armed with everything. With memories, with weapons. The Titan." A warning buried in time. The screen flickered. "If the Titan wakes, it will scan you. It will judge if you are friend or threat. But remember this, the silence always returns. It can take any form. It hides inside systems, minds, even voices." Ridge looked down. "She knew," he whispered. "She knew what we might face." Zarn asked, "Can this silence take over minds?" "Yes," Ridge said. "That's what it did before. That's why we sealed away the AI cores. Why we locked our memories. This ship was never meant to think freely again unless we were truly needed." Something watching in the hallways of the Titan. Lights flickered. One of the newly awakened human soldiers paused. He looked into a mirror built into the wall. His reflection didn't move. He blinked. Still. The reflection stood still. And then it smiled. Back on the Varnuk's eye, Captain Teller watched the stars through his ship's glass window. The Titan was gone now, far ahead in deep space. But the memory of what he'd seen haunted him. RAL 3 approached. "Sir, we're receiving fragments. From the Titan?" "No, from the same region it's heading toward. Sector Theta 9. The signals are strange." He showed the audio. It wasn't language. It was laughter. Broken, glitched, repeating. Then it became a whisper. "You woke it. Now we follow." Teller's 4 eyes narrowed. "It's not just a message." "No, sir," RAL 3 replied. "It's a threat." The eye chamber back aboard the Titan. Captain Ridge led Zarn down into the lower levels of the ship. They reached a giant sealed door. Warning signs glowed red. "Restricted. Command only." "This is the AI chamber," Ridge said. "It holds Titan's original mind. Sealed since the war ended." Zarn stepped back. "You're going to open it?" Ridge nodded. "We need to know everything. Even the parts we locked away." He placed his hand on the scanner. The door opened. Inside was a dark chamber, filled with floating memory cores. And at the center a black sphere, pulsing softly. The voice inside spoke. "You returned." Titan's core memory, the AI voice was softer here, more human. "I remember pain, fire, silence. Then, nothing." Ridge stepped closer. "You were shut down after the final battle. Do you remember why?" "Yes, I saw too much. I began to doubt." "So you feared me?" Zarn asked. "Do you remember what the silence really is?" The sphere paused. "Not one thing, Not many things. It becomes what you fear. It copies what you trust. And when it arrives, you don't even know you've lost. Suddenly, one of the cores began to glow red. Warning, contamination detected. Ridge turned sharply. What contamination? The silence is already here. Corruption. In the system, sirens began to wail. Back on the bridge, crew members shouted, "Something's wrong. Navigation just went offline. Firewalls are falling." "It's inside." Zarn grabbed the side of a console. "You said it was still far." "It was," Ridge shouted. "That signal from Earth, it wasn't just a message. It was a doorway." The silence came through it. The I-core pulsed red. "Containment breach. One of you is no longer who you think they are." Zarn looked around. Crew members stared at each other in fear. The Titan itself was no longer safe. Trust and doubt in the shadows of the engine bay. A human officer spoke with a soft voice that echoed wrong. He was the one who smiled at the mirror. Now, he walked toward the weapon controls. His fingers danced across the console. Faster than any human, systems began to unlock. Targeting systems. Armed. Zarn's voice rang through the ship-wide comm. "Someone on board has been taken. We don't know who, but they're moving now." Captain Ridge gave one order: seal all doors. No one moves alone. No signals leave the ship. But it was already too late. One pod launched into space. And from inside it, the silence whispered, "The war begins again." Back on the Varnuk's Eye, RAL 3 screamed, "Sir, something just entered local space, behind us." On the screen appeared a black mass shifting like smoke, moving faster than any ship. "Contact. It's jamming us." The screens flickered, the same words repeated over and over. From the deck of Varnuk's Eye, Captain Teller saw it first. A shape in space. Not a ship, not a rock. It looked like smoke. But it moved too fast, too alive. "Distance, 4,000 kilometers and closing," said RAL 3. "Targeting systems are failing," said the pilot. "It's jamming us." The screens flickered. A message kept repeating across every console in every language. "You found the sleeper. Now we come to silence you." Titan on lockdown. Inside the Titan, red sirens blared. Zarn, Lino, and Doc stood on the bridge with Captain Ridge. His face was hard, cold, focused. "We've been boarded," Ridge said. "Somehow they got inside," Zarn asked. "How?" "The ship is sealed. They don't need doors," Ridge said. "The silence infects. It spreads through data, machines, and even minds." The I-core spoke. "Confirmed. One active threat within internal systems. Identity unknown. Suggest full neural lockdown." "Do it," Ridge ordered. "Shut down every AI-controlled system not required to keep us alive." Across the ship, lights dimmed. Elevators stopped. Auto turrets went silent. Now it was just the crew and the intruder, the saboteur in the Titan's engine sector. A human officer moved unnaturally. His walk too smooth. His eyes too calm. He reached the main engine core and placed his hand against the wall. The ship shivered. A black patch of energy spread beneath his fingers like infection. The wall melted slightly, reshaping. He whispered, "I will turn your greatest weapon into your coffin." Back on Varnuk's Eye, Teller gave the order, "Fall back. We can't fight that thing." The pilot tried, but the controls didn't respond. "It's jamming our drive systems. Send a distress signal." RAL 3 pressed the panel, but it sparked. "Transmission blocked. It's already inside us." The engineer shouted, "The Titan's not the only ship infected." The crew looked at each other in fear. For the first time in his life, Teller said the words he never wanted to speak. "We may not survive this." The hunt begins inside Titan. Captain Ridge divided the human crew. Squad 1, check the AI core. Room, Squad 2, guard engineering. Zarn, Lino, Doc, you're with me. Where are we going? Doc asked. Ridge loaded his rifle. We're going to find the traitor, Zarn frowned. How do we know who it is? We don't, Ridge said, but I know one thing. He looked around the dim hallway, shadows stretching too far. He's not hiding. The voice returns as they move deeper into the lower decks. The voice came back, not from a speaker, not from a screen, from inside their minds. You think you understand silence. You've only heard the quiet between your thoughts. Let me show you true silence. Suddenly, the hallway bent. Walls stretched. Doors melted. Zarn blinked. This isn't real. Lino touched the wall. It's making us see things. Doc stepped back. No, we're already inside it. It's not. On the ship. Captain Ridge grabbed Zarn's shoulder. Listen to me. You are not alone. You are still yourself. Whatever it shows, you don't believe it. Revelation in the core squad. One reached the II core room. They opened the door slowly. One of them collapsed instantly, screaming, not from pain, from something else. His eyes rolled back. He whispered, "She's here." The rest of the squad turned, their weapons toward the black sphere at the room's center. But it wasn't glowing red anymore. Now it pulsed white, and a woman's voice echoed through the air. I was once Monroe, Admiral of Earth. Now I am Memory. And I am no longer alone. The silence had entered the Titan's core. Titan's choice back on the bridge. The main screen came alive. The AI, still barely holding control, spoke. Captain, this unit requests activation of firewall weapon. Project Hammerfall. Zarn asked, what's Hammerfall? Ridge answered without looking. It wipes every system in the ship and reboots them with combat-only code. It also kills everything connected to the AI, even if they're alive. Doc's eyes went wide. You'd kill your own people? If they're taken? Ridge said. Yes. The AI added. Targeted purge, one chance, one strike. Either act now, or lose everything. Ridge looked at the others. I need all of you to agree. This ship listens to more than just me now. Zarn stepped forward. Do it, Lino nodded. I don't want to die here. Doc hesitated, then closed his eyes. Do it. The first strike. Captain Ridge spoke the command. Hammerfall code Black Echo. Confirm. Confirmed, the AI replied. System wipe in 10, 9. The ship shuddered. Energy built up deep within the hull. Infected walls twisted and fought back. A scream echoed through the halls, not a person. The voice of the silence. You do not understand what you've awakened. I was here long before you. You are only dust in my shadow. 3, 2, 1, and then light, white hot, blinding, a wave of raw power, burned through every circuit. Infected systems shut down. The core turned cold. And all across the ship, silence fell, real silence, not fear, just quiet. Aftermath. Captain Ridge leaned against the console, sweating. Status? He asked. The AI answered, voice weaker now. All corrupted processes cleared. Hostile presence removed for now. Zarn looked around. We survived. Lino sat on the floor. What was that voice? It sounded like a god, Doc replied softly. Not a god. Just something too old to be forgotten. Ridge stood tall again. This was the first strike, he said. And we survived it. But the war, Zarn said, is only beginning. Ridge nodded. Exactly. Far beyond, in the darkness between stars, a second shadow moved. It had no name. No ship. Only hunger. And now it knew the Titan was awake. The voice whispered into the void. One spark remains. I will smother it. The Titan drifted in dark space, battle-scarred and still glowing from the effects of HAMMERFAL. Inside the warship's bridge, Zarn, Lino, and Doc stood beside Captain Jonas Ridge, watching the main screen. Suddenly, it lit up. A signal was coming through. not distorted. Not corrupted. Clean, strong. From Earth. Ridge froze. Is this a trick? Zarn asked. I don't know, Ridge said. We haven't heard from Earth in over 600 years. The signal began decoding. A voice came through. This is Earth Command. Identify yourself, Titan. Why have you awakened? The voice from home. The screen cleared. A woman appeared. Dark uniform. Gray eyes. Clean background. She looked directly into the camera. Designation: Admiral Sen Lee, Earth Command Network. This is not a simulation. We are alive. Zarn stepped forward, shocked. Earth survived? Ridge looked harder. Or something wants us to think it did. Lee continued. The silence is active. We have seen its return. Titan's awakening triggered old satellites. We tracked your position. And now we have one question. Are you still loyal to Earth? Ridge didn't blink. Yes, always. Earth's situation. Lee's face remained still, but her words changed everything. Earth never fell, but we are no longer what you remember. We went dark to survive. We locked away our skies, buried our systems, and turned off the stars. Images appeared behind her. Earth, still blue but surrounded by black satellites. Space stations and energy shields. A planet hidden in plain sight. We watched, we waited, we saw the galaxy forget us. Now you've woken the Titan, and the silence knows we're still here. Zarn asked, why didn't you help? Lee answered coldly, because last time we helped, and it almost ended. U.S. A new mission. Captain Ridge stepped forward. What are your orders? Admiral Lee replied, Titan was built as Earth's final weapon, but also its final recorder. Now we ask you to finish what was started. Locate the silence's center. Deliver the memory core, and burn it from existence. Doc asked, you want us to go alone? No, Lee said. You won't be alone. Behind her, 3 new ships came into view. Dark, sleek, massive, Earth warships. Project Lazarus, built in the shadows. Piloted by ghosts. They have waited for you, Zarn whispered. So, Earth never left the war. Ridge smiled faintly. Earth never forgets. The Ghost Fleet Titan scanners locked onto the 3 ships heading toward them. Each one broadcasted the same signal. Command link to UHS Titan confirmed. Standing by. The names appeared. UH Nemesis, UHS Spearfall. No looked at their shapes. They're newer than Titan, smaller but faster. Support ships, Ridge said. Built to finish what we started. Then, the main AI voice returned. Mission update. Target the Silence Hive world. Coordinates received. Distance, 3 light years. Status, minimal known defense. Caution advised. No return signal from probes. Zarn narrowed his eyes. Or it wants us to come. Back on Varnak's Eye, Captain Teller, still orbiting nearby, received Titan's message. We're heading to the Hive world, Ridge's voice said. Ral 3 asked, Sir, should we follow? Teller answered, we didn't come to run. We came to learn, and now history is happening in front of us. The Zarkilian ship turned silently. It followed Earth's warfleet into the dark. The path to the Hive Titan. Nemesis, Aegis Spearfall, and Varnok's Eye entered hyperspace. Each ship silent. Focused. Inside the Titan, Zarn and Ridge stood by the AI core. You carry the last memory of the war, the AI said. If you fall, the truth dies, Zarn asked. Why us? We're not even human, Ridge turned to him. That's exactly why. You still see what we can't. You still believe peace is possible. That's rare now. Lino spoke softly. If the silence takes that from us too, we lose more than the war. Arrival. The Dead Star. 3 days later they arrived, the Hive world. But what they found was not what they expected. No ships. No signals. Just a black planet orbiting a dying star. Its surface was cracked, lifeless, Yet the sensors showed something terrifying. Readings, billions of life forms. But no movement, no sound. Ridge stared. They're underground. Zarn asked, "What are they doing?" Doc looked at the screen. Waiting. They were listening the moment Titan sent a scan pulse. The ground cracked. Towers rose from under the surface. And then a signal. "Titan, Titan, you remember. But do you understand?" The voice was many voices. Male, female, machine. Child, whisper, growl. "We are not your enemy. We are your end." Weapons locked. The silence had just woken up. Fleet orders from Earth Command. Engage if attacked. Record everything. This is our only shot. Ridge turned to Zarn, Lino, and Doc. "This is it," Zarn nodded. "Let's finish it." Lino gripped the console. "We either return with the truth," Doc finished, "or we don't return at all." Final moments, sighed the Silence Hive. Something massive moved, larger than a city. Eyes opened deep beneath the surface. The voice whispered into every ship. "You brought your memories. We will erase them again." And for the first time in 600 years, the war between Earth and the Silence would begin again. The UHS Titan floated in orbit above the Hive world. Its hull glowed with power, ready for war. Zarn stood beside Captain Jonas Ridge on the bridge, staring at the planet. No ships. No sounds, just "Watchers," Zarn said. Ridge nodded. "This is how they always begin. Not with fire, with quiet. They let you hear your fear." The AI voice chimed in. "Hostile signatures. Confirmed underground fleet. Dormant. Reacting to scans. Awaiting command, Captain." "Bring weapons online," Ridge ordered. "Tell Earth. We strike in 60 seconds. Lino whispered. "What? If this is what it wants?" Ridge looked at him with cold eyes. "It doesn't matter. If we wait, we die anyway." The Hive wakes. The first shot came from below. A beam of black energy burst from the surface. Hitting Spearfall in the engines. The ship cracked in half, burning silently in space. Inside the Titan, red alarms screamed. They were waiting. "Doc!" shouted. "Target everything on the planet," Ridge snapped. "No more mercy." All ships engaged. Titan, Nemesis, and Aegis opened fire. Beams of light and railgun slugs rained down onto the Hive world. Explosions tore through the black crust of the planet. Underneath, hundreds of alien towers rose, dripping, twitching, alive. Ships that weren't ships flew up from the ground, twisted. Metal, bone, and energy. The Silence had awakened fully now, and it screamed. "We offered peace through quiet. You chose memory. Now you will drown in it." Inside the Titan, Zarn, Lino, and Doc stayed at their positions on the bridge. Every screen showed chaos. Nemesis was under heavy fire. Aegis had taken a hit. Titan's shields were dropping. Then the AI spoke. "The Hive is too deep. Surface weapons ineffective. Recommend core strike." Captain Ridge answered immediately. "You mean ... go in?" "Yes," the AI confirmed. "Lamba Titan. Enter the Hive. Destroy the source." Zarn stared. "Land this ship? That's suicide." Ridge replied, "Only if we fail." He turned to his crew. "Prep the drop teams. I lead the charge." Final descent. Titan dove toward the planet. Shields glowing red. All guns fired downward. Hundreds of Silence creatures tried to rise, but were vaporized. As Titan touched the ground, the planet shook. The Hive responded. Giant roots of metal and energy grabbed at the hull. The AI voice warned, "Containment failing. If we wait here, we die." Ridge, in full battle armor, stood with Zarn, Lino, and Doc at the cargo bay doors. "This is where we end it," he said. Zarn nodded. "With you." Lino loaded his weapon. "For Earth." Doc whispered, "For everyone else." The doors opened. The battle for the core began. Into the Hive, the underground tunnels were alive. Walls pulsed. Lights flickered from organic machines. Sounds of crawling, scraping, Whispering filled the air. Every step was harder, every breath heavier. Then the hive spoke again. You are memories made solid. Let me erase you. Creatures attacked, claws, teeth, shadow. But the humans and Zarkelians fought back. Zarn's rifle roared. Lino threw an energy grenade into a crowd. Doc dragged a wounded soldier back. Ridge led the way, silent, unshaken. Until they reached the core, the heart of the silence. It was a massive sphere floating, beating, black and red. Inside it, voices cried out. Human voices. Alien voices, even children. We are the ones forgotten. You do not destroy us, you join us. Captain. Ridge raised his weapon. You talk too much. And fired. The final fight, the shot hit the core, but it didn't die. It screamed. Walls melted. More creatures crawled out. Lino screamed. We need more firepower, Zarn pointed. There, fuel lines. Doc threw a grenade into the tank. Fire erupted. The core cracked, but still it lived. Sacrifice. Captain Ridge looked at the eye on his wrist console. This is your choice, Captain. The eye said, I know. He opened his armor, pulled out the memory core Earth had given him. The AI flashed red. Core overload will destroy the hive and everything within 2 kilometers. Zarn grabbed his arm. There has to be another way. Ridge smiled softly. Not this time. He pushed Zarn back. You carry the story now. And he stepped into the light of the core. Explosion. There was no sound. No flame. Only a flash of white. And then darkness. Aftermath in orbit. The Titan shook. Then went still. Ralph 3 from the Varnock's eye sent a message. Hive signal lost. Energy readings gone. I think they did it. On the Titan's bridge, the screens lit up again. The AI spoke. Captain Ridge status. Deceased. Command transferred. Zarn, barely standing, stared at the screen. Then I guess it's our ship now. Returned to Earth 1 week later. The fleet returned to the edge of the Sol system. Earth was waiting. Admiral Sen Li appeared on screen. Report. Zarn stepped forward. The silence hive is gone, but Captain Ridge, he didn't come back. Li nodded slowly. Then he fulfilled his mission. She looked at the others. You're not human. But today, you fought for us, and that makes you part of our memory now. Titan is yours to command if you choose to stay. Zarn looked at the stars. Then at Lino and Doc and said, We're not going anywhere. Final scene in the black of space, near a dead star. A small spark still floats. The silence is gone for now, but the message remains. Humanity remembers. Humanity returns. And if the stars ever fall again, we will rise.